Hi everyone. So today's live is all about asking yourself what pushes you off track in your weight loss surgery journey. So I am going to explain what I mean by that as we welcome people jumping on. Welcome everyone jumping on. I am going to ask, before we even start, if somebody could say hello in the comments, because I did a live, I think it was last week, maybe it's because I really had a cold and I just didn't see comments coming up. So I just want to make sure everything's good. So if someone could say hello in the comments, that would be great. Hello, thank you so much. Kenya, lovely, thank you. So what pushes you off course in your weight loss surgery journey? I wanted to talk all about this topic, and as I'm talking about it, I'm going to ask you to reflect on what it is for you that pushes you off course. So thank you everyone else for putting hello. I can see the comments now. Wonderful. So it's really important to get to know yourself even better. And what I mean by that is when I'm working with clients and we're really working through, especially if they're at that point, they've gone off track, we're working about getting back on track. We also want to gain awareness of what are the triggers that push you personally off track, out of your zone, whatever the words are for you. So it's about awareness, and then I'm going to talk about the steps you can go through to bring yourself back on track. But what pushes you off track? And I've actually got two big kind of key areas that I want to talk about. External factors, and then there are internal factors. And there can be a mixture of things that may push you off track, off your journey, off your road after your weight loss surgery. As I'm talking about these, if anyone has any thoughts, insights, or comments, I'd love you to share, okay? Because there are so many things that are very common for people in their weight loss surgery journey that are not only great outcomes, but also struggles. And it's really great to not feel it's just you. And a lot of people can feel that if they're struggling with something, it's just them. And we want to normalize the struggles. It can make it easier from an emotional perspective. So let's talk about external factors that can push you off track. So as I'm going through this, if you relate to any of these external factors, please, if these have happened to you, if they do happen to you, please comment. Welcome everyone. So I'm going to talk really the big boulders that can push you off track, so to speak. Loss and sickness in family can really be a big one. The change of jobs, whether it's a choice or not a choice. Things happening in the family, all of those kind of big external things that are, there's emotions there as well, but there are those things that just come in life, needing to move, needing to change location where you live. That can be something, you're going down the road, everything's great, and things happen. And so just being aware that's very normal, that can really push you off track. Going on holidays or extended leave. Lovely, someone's just put a comment about alcohol. Great, I'll definitely be commenting on that. Going on holidays or external or leave, because that pushes you out of your routine. Changes in your schedule, and that can happen even at a small, like daily or weekly, but also big. So things like changes in schooling of where your child goes, changes in things that maybe you have to do with your work, your schedule changes, and then that really pushes you out of your zone. Lack of preparation, and I've put that as an external one. That's a lack of preparing for your days and your weeks, and then you don't have those great options in your environment, so the things you reach for other options. So that's a really big banner, that external one. And I want to talk about the comment that was made, because I think that was a really good comment. I want to drink with my friends when my friends drink. Alcohol is a slippery slope, so I guess it's a sense of community, social gathering. Definitely. And so that's an external, beautiful example. It's an external, environmental, wanting to fit in, especially if your friends, some people have friends that very much every catch-up's with food, and sometimes it's alcohol. And you want to fit in and you want to socialize with your friends, and also the way you have been used to socializing. Alcohol is definitely a slippery slope. The research shows that when people drink in alcohol. When people reintroduce alcohol in their weight loss phase of their weight loss surgery journey, weight loss can slow down. And when alcohol continues, it can lead to weight regain. So managing alcohol consumption can be a really big challenge for many people, but there are ways to socialize and manage and limit alcohol. And this is very much about going into your social gatherings very consciously with a plan and refining that plan over time and adjusting to that new kind of way of being socially active with your friends and limiting alcohol. So that's something I work a lot with clients on. So thank you so much for sharing. And it's a big challenge for many people. So there are external factors that can push you off course. Anyone else wants to comment or ask anything, please do. Then there are the internal ones, and these are often the more challenging. And they are the emotional triggers that lead to emotional eating. Does anyone have anything to share about this, the emotional triggers? How can we put it? People eat when they're happy, glad, sad, mad. We all eat for emotional reasons. It's really about when does that emotional eating lead to overeating? When is it leading to weight loss slowing down or weight regain? Okay, so they're the two things. So stress, grief, frustration, anxiety, those are the things that can pop up on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and they definitely lead to people off track. So Betty, hi Betty, sugar is still a weakness, still work in a bakery. It gives me a temporary sugar high. And that is a very common feedback from sugar because we get pleasure from food and we want to have food is pleasure. It's about finding that balance and about finding other areas that's rough. When you work in a bakery, you're around temptation. It's about also finding pleasure in other things in your life, not just food. So it's a very big challenge, Betty. But so lovely. So, well, not lovely, but I mean, yeah. So we can relate to you being in such a high triggering environment. So emotions, yes, emotions, food to soothe emotions or food to give you certain feelings. And that is wonderful to be able to split that and pull that apart. Another big area from an emotional perspective is self-sabotage. And that is a big area that I work with clients on because it comes back at different times for people in their bariatric journey, okay? Self-sabotage. Does anyone here relate to what I'm talking about? Self-sabotage comes in a whole range of different forms, and it's that I've eaten a biscuit or two, I might as well eat the whole packet because I've ruined my day. It's very much that dieting thinking, that black and white. And it's really great to be aware of the thoughts that come up. If you go off track a little bit, what thoughts come up for you? Where do you go? And what I mean by that is, do you go to, I knew I wouldn't be able to do this. I haven't been able to keep weight off before. I've always failed. I don't think I deserve to be the healthier version of myself. Self-sabotage is a key thing that we want to identify and look for, okay? So what do we do when we're pushed off track? And we first, so someone's put, yes, I've started and it's hard to stop. I feel bad, but find, I don't think you finished that. That's fine. Z-Kotos, So we've got external factors and we've got internal factors that can push us off track. The first step is to really identify what's going on. If you listen to me talking about things, I talk a lot about first being really a bit more self-aware and really identifying your triggers and your patterns to going off track. Number 2 is to put strategies in place, and they can be strategies to do from an emotional perspective and also strategies and things in your environment to help first pick up when you are going off track and 2, bring you back on track faster. So we're all going to go down the road and step in a pothole, go off track at some point. It's about, with compassion, picking up where we are, coming back on track faster, not blaming ourselves, learning from it, and then embedding these strategies into your life. And this is what I do with my clients. We work on the strategies that help bring them back on track, and we put things in their life, their environment, and their life that help remind them what to do when they go off track, because your brain and your memory won't serve you well. We need things in our environment. And that's what I do. That's not only from a what to eat with my clients, it's also how to eat and what are the tools in the toolkit you need to bring yourself back on track when you've gone off track. And I talk more about this when I'm talking to somebody that's looking and possibly working with me. I talk more about specific, more personalized information on how this works. So I know I'm talking very generally here, but it really is about where they are in their journey, what's pushing them off track, and what are the types of strategies we use to pull them back on track. So there's another comment. I think you have to forgive yourself and go back to what is better for your health and have friends to support you. Wonderful. When we feel better about ourselves, we're more likely to do habits and behaviors that are kind and are healthy behaviors. So it is about forgiveness and it is about compassion. And I talk a lot about that because the dieting space, and when you're in that dieting zone, which is many people have lived there for many, many years before the surgery, dieting is not compassionate. Dieting is not forgiveness. So I love that. And yeah, friends and hopefully some family, but if not friends, that support you and remind you of the journey you're on. So that's a wonderful thing. So to recap, there are external factors that can push you off track. There are internal factors. So external ones, the big ones, job, family, moving. The little external ones, not being prepared for the day, not having good options on hand, change of schedule at the drop of a hat that's happened. Internal ones, so what are the triggers? What are your triggers for emotional eating? What emotions cause you to want to eat, have non-hungry eating? But also, is there self-sabotage? Does self-sabotage, you step off track a little bit, self-sabotage comes in and pushes you further off track. Really, one, identifying what's there for you. Everyone is different. There are very common things, but what are your patterns and what are your triggers? Really working the strategies that help bring you, one, identify when you're off track sooner, and then strategies that help bring you back on track sooner. Because when you're off track and you're overeating and emotional eating, that is where the weight loss stops and the weight regain happens. So we want to spend less time there. And it's a practice about getting yourself back on track and then embedding things in our environment that are there to remind you what to do when you do go off track and help bring you back on track. So there's 3 steps, there's 3 stages. And that's what I work with clients on. So if you relate to this and you want to become more empowered in your journey and have more tools in your toolkit, and this is not just for the weight loss stage after weight loss surgery, this is for the rest of your life. It is expected that you will go off track at some point in your journey, that you are just human. Life pushes us off track, or you could say pulls you off track. So if you want to have more skills, you want to get the more out of your weight loss surgery journey, but also know how to keep all the benefits you've got, and you'd like to know more about my coaching services, please DM me or comment the word support, and I'll come back to you and we'll chat further. There's no pressure obligation to know more about my coaching and support. So that's what I do. I want people to know what I do and how I can help them and give you all that information. And if we're right for each other, wonderful. And if we're not a problem at all. I hope you still jump on my lives. I hope you still follow me and get value out of my content. So thank you so much, everyone, for jumping on. And I'm just going to cover that last comment. Self-sabotage is such a struggle. It's hard to stop identifying as a fat or bad person. So you are so, and thank you so for being compassionate, supportive. You are so welcome. And I say this all the time, but old habits die hard and thoughts are habits, and it takes time to break them. and it's really step by step, but you can. And it's breaking down how, you stop identifying as yourself and practicing compassion and surrounding yourself, which sounds like you do, with supportive friends and people that are going to reinforce those more compassionate thoughts. So you're so welcome. I'm so glad you get value out of listening to me chat on. So thank you everyone for your comments today, for listening, for your lovely waves. Lovely to see you, Betty, as well. And I will be back here next Tuesday or Monday night or Tuesday afternoon, depending where you are in the world. Thanks so much. Bye.